broadcast is live. Warp speed ahead.
Right, everyone, here we go. That was a little bit tough to try and do that, get everyone on. Welcome to STFC Briefings, the podcast for Star Trek and Fleet Command the game. We have wonderful guests, as you can see them in their avatars on the stage. We have Quasel from STFC.cc. Quasel, how you doing, buddy? You good? Oh,
Good evening. Yeah, doing fine. Been a long day. What else? Fine.
This is really good. NetNiv has been doing really crappy videos, by the way. You should go to Lostin's channel afterwards for whatever wonderful video that NetNiv's going. NetNiv, how you doing, buddy?
I'm not doing too bad. I am glad to be here at the end of the day. I've survived again.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, really good. And then we also have Shockwave Prime, who wrote a beautiful letter, sort of letter in the private server. That Shockwave, I want you to reiterate what you did in the private server because it was absolutely magnificent. The stage is yours, sir. Before we go to Taco, dude, tell me what you said in the private server.
I essentially, thank you very much. I essentially sent out a plea to Scopely. You know, you guys have done some good things over the course of the last couple months. Communication has improved. You know, this arc has been great, and I highlighted those. But I also let them know too that they're listening to the wrong people. You know, any corporation that is set solely with yes men, any administration, any corporation, any whatever that has yes men all over, yes men, women, yes CCs, it's bound to fail because if we're not listening to criticism, then we can't grow. And
Yeah.
and I think that that's part of the key distinction here is that Scopely has really shut down listening. Where we've said we want less spend, they've instituted more, and I made the callback to pre-vengeance. $500 could
Yeah.
get you, if you were a spender, $500 would really get you the full enjoyment of the arc,
Yeah.
and you'd have a great experience. And now it's $1,500, you know, and that
Yeah.
might not even cut it. And so I made the point that not everything has to be tied to the vengeance. Not everything has to, you know, not everything has to be make or break. But the number one thing I said that has to stop
Yes.
is the multi-tiered primes. And the reason why is, and we've got the content creators here, we've got other players here. Everyone will know exactly what I'm talking about. You go through your research tree.
Yeah.
What do you see? 20% isolytic damage increase
Yeah.
for $99.99.
Wow.
20%, 15%, 20%.
Yeah.
And these multi-tier primes are maxing out at those numbers. So what they're doing is they're invalidating their previous mechanic economy by putting multi-tier primes where single primes used to be. And I made a plea that said, you guys have just got to stop and do better. And then maybe even start rewarding the players that have been here for the long haul because they don't have a lot of players left to lose before, God forbid, we go into maintenance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been stark.
Oh, dude, I completely agree with you with this because the thing is, there is inflation, so let's up with that. They have to make money, which is absolutely something that is, we're aware of. So we're not trying to stop that from happening. What we're trying to get to them to understand that right now the game is becoming way too expensive to even be within a competing status of it and be able to enjoy it. But the one thing about here that I want to create is I want to create a way whereby we can go around all these things that they throw at us. So one of the main things I'm going to talk to you guys about today is even outpost sourcing, like how the Vengeance cost $500, the outpost sourcing's now dropped, and we have a fantastic little thing. I think is it Mr. Tony Sir that actually said that he didn't realize that the sourcing is going to be for FC Cisco is going to drop. It hasn't dropped. The thing is, Mr. Sony Sir and a few people here, you need to understand. I understand what they're trying to do. I believe what's coming up is actually a refreshing, boring, minor change that will actually open another door to a bit of quality of life. It's another little bit of a feature, which is okay. Nothing crazy that's going to happen. There's a wonderful quality of life improvement that I think will benefit a lot of players and everything like that, which I think would be good once you get to a stage, because every quality of life like they added. Remember the Syndicate, Quasel? The Syndicate was like, hey guys, you can now get Claim All. And what was Claim All? It wasn't Syndicate 1, it was Syndicate 20 or something, wasn't it? Remember that? When the Claim All button...
Yeah, around 20.
Yeah, it was that. And the same thing, and those things you go, oh my god, oh, well, that's what's going to happen. Same thing's going to happen here, and I think you guys are just to be wary. So, the same advice that I've given a lot of people in the VIP community are allowed to have their special advice, because that's what I'm there for, to help them out with that one. And the main thing is, when it comes to what's going to happen and what's going to come up, and it reflects what Shockwave Prime is saying, there will not be a horrendous spend to partake next month, which I think is a good thing. And also, you need to play it sensibly. The podcast I recorded with Jules, there are 3 very critical things that we're going to say in it that will help you through a very specific part. So I would listen to the very end. The podcast is very short because there's not a lot to talk about. And it's going to then allow you to enjoy a lot of stuff that is coming up. Hey, Dark Tree, thank you very much. Hey, everyone that's coming in. The main thing to focus on, Quasel, is what I tell people. Okay, Outpost directives. We now are stuck a little bit, right? So the main 2 things in Outpost, Quasel, NetNiv as well, is what we focus on is we want the FC Cisco, and we also want the FC slot. Let's leave the slot as a dream goal. As in, like, when it happens type thing. You just don't worry about it. Cisco is the person you're focusing on. So Outposts should be you getting, your artifacts, your Cisco, and you're able to pull in the officers as well. That's your main aspects of this, is true. Lum says on the Discord channel that inflation isn't 400%. I agree. And that's the key. Nigel, the whole idea of us folks trying to get the people's voice, love you for this. Exactly, because this is going to open loads of stuff for all the CCs as well and everything like that, which is very, 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 very good. The main aspect is this. Outpost directives aside, right? Now, it's going to take a bit of time to get things going with regards to Outpost. So your focus on Outpost should be those specific things. I will tell you right now, don't worry about what else is left in Outpost. I'm sure, and I predict in the future, there'll be more sourcing from those specific things eventually soon. Which is... Exactly, which is the main thing that you need to focus on. Quasel, so with the Outpost directives we have, in the free-to-play mode completely, how many can we get a month on the normal starts, including Alliance tournaments? So 4 in Alliance tournaments, probably pull 1 a week, so in a month, so that's 4 in a month, so that's 8. What else is there?
Yeah, I mean, up to 10, I think. But Alliance tournament requires master for the second set, so that's maybe not for everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm always talking about 8,
Yeah.
which I found because 2 from Alliance tournaments, 1 from the Battle Pass.
Yeah.
And you can get up to 5-ish from the daily pool. So you're then at 8. 5, 6, 8, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So around that. I mean, you can get maybe 10 if you're in a good alliance.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Exactly. So you get about 10.
And
yeah, go on.
Yep. And for the elite ones, it's way less, and I think that's more of an issue.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at, if you're only doing the single pull, that's 2 in a month, and that's not a lot.
No, so we're recommending.
That's where my focus would be.
Yeah, so our recommendation for people is to pull 2. Let's assume people can pull the full 1 a week, because let's go scopely math here. The full 1 a week, so they get 4 a month. So what we need to do is we need to understand whether we can get a little bit more from the elite could do with a bit more. In the free-to-play track, that is exactly what it is. The biggest problem here now for the free-to-play players is you're going to have to be very specific on how you get as much loot as possible to achieve your elite, but because your elite now becomes your one and only chance to try and absolutely maximize the loot in the best way possible, and that is going to be a really hard thing to try and achieve, because if you don't, you're going to be stuck behind. So your elite becomes your very big one. So, Quasel, or even, and then I'm going to go to you, Netniv, because you're slightly lower ops player, so it'd be lovely to hear your thoughts on this. Quasel, the suggestion to do to do what with the elite ones now, with these new survey style things, what we're trying to aim by doing this style to try and get as much loot as possible. Can you explain what that achieves?
Yeah. The thing is, it very depends for whom it works and for whom it doesn't. It's currently not easy to say, just use that, it's the best for you.
Yeah.
But the general idea is behind that, having one ship, a big ship that gets all the loot. Because remember, loot is distributed based on ship power.
Yeah.
So we're using one big ship and combining it with maybe 2 surveys.
Yeah.
Because surveys just need to survive the first battle, and that we can kind of accomplish using the protector path.
Yeah.
So, and after that, those 2 surveys still stay forever with you until your main ship dies.
Yeah.
And then we can use those ships to put state officers on them, or use the cadet or next generation crews
Yeah.
to reduce the damage of the hostiles.
Yeah.
And that way we can put a way more loot crew on our main ship. But it depends where you're at with your ships, how good it works for you or not, or if it's better to maybe have more combat ships and go a step up. But I have seen a lot of players having success with that. But it highly depends, and especially G7 beginners
Yeah.
with a tier 4 is Vengeance, there is a sweet spot using that crew.
Yeah, so at the tier 4 Vengeance and you're an up 71, they're hitting the 70s, I assume. There, Quasel. Yeah, should be good. Out of interest, Netniv, have you tried this? And you're an ops 42. No, I'm kidding.
64.
Yeah, 64. Up 64. So
sorry, no.
Yeah.
65 and 55. But
yeah.
I have to admit that I haven't tried it because I did take one look at the Outpost Battle Pass and I just went, I can't be bothered.
Yeah, fair enough. It doesn't give you enough, but yeah, go on.
Yeah. So I didn't bother. I am curious to try out the survey method, but at the minute I have to use 2 ships because I only get 2 ships in because of my building level, and I don't really see me switching out another battleship for a survey because I can't do it with one ship on its own at the minute. So
yeah, that's true. I think the main thing is the one ship method to see how that goes and how that works, which is absolutely important to realize. How about you, Taco? MacTaco, have you managed to try any of this outpost stuff? Have you managed to achieve anything using that method? Have you gotten some good loot out of it?
I have. I use one warship and 2 miners, and I have gotten extra loot out of it. It's the only issue I have is I'm not getting enough directives to keep running it to get more loot.
Yeah, the directive side of it, I'm praying for everyone to just give it a bit of time. They're hopefully going to look at it. They're going to look at the data and they will adjust it. I do believe that there'll be some form of additional directives of some sort. It's not a lot. Whatever it is, it'll be very, very minor, and that's important. I mean, Lum brings a good point up. He says the damage reduction of the survey crew will let you kill higher than a single ship above, and then people will be more, will be able to kill a little bit higher crew. Is that true, Quasel, though, what Lum is saying, that you can achieve that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're using with only one additional ship, it's harder.
Yeah.
But a fully crewed ship can reduce the damage for about 22.4%.
Yeah.
So, and that's a big chunk of the damage.
That is a big
so it
chunk.
might work out. And the second benefit is you can then move maybe a stats officer or just a state officer like Lurker off from a main ship and put a loot officer there. So you might not even lose combat power, but getting more loot. It depends on how many slots you have and how you can crew. we have a lot of examples seen on your Discord
Yeah.
and on other servers. Like, you need to play around a little bit with it and ask questions on the Discords, because people that are beginning to test it have an idea what works and what doesn't. And it depends. For example, if you can do 63 with a little bit loot crew, you might be better off than doing the 60s, because there's a big jump in between with the loot. It's very sad. There is no general answer currently for that's how you do it.
Yeah, true. And also Lum adds that if not higher level, but killing more of the revenge hostiles, which is absolutely
Yep.
critical with that. And I think that's a bonus. So guys, don't let them beat you with restricting the directives. Let's beat them by finding a way around this and getting more loot and actually doing maybe the less that they want us to do, but achieving more to ensure to focus on. And the reason I'm focusing on this, I'm giving you a very critical hint here that you should focus on in that refinery only on FC Cisco and the officers alone. If you wish to have the officers, if you're happy with the officers, then great. I would focus on FC Cisco and pulling that at the moment. Don't worry about anything else that's in there. I think everything will sort of make sense in about 5 days' time. So that's the critical information is. Remember as well, we've also told you, because of how Outposts is working, how the limited directives there are, and how everything there is, we will ensure that they will never beat us down, and we will enjoy this game the way we want to play it, because that's really important. Dantesh is here, everybody, so we're going to end the stream right there. No, I'm kidding you. Dantesh, lovely to see you, buddy. The important thing to realize, Shockwave Prime, do you do any of these outposts as well, buddy? Because you're like a high-level 70 that will never be a 71 for the rest of his life. For various reasons. Shockwave refuses to go to 71. Shockwave, do you do outposts at 70s? How you
I
do?
do outposts all the time, and my server actually recently did ascend, so I am 71. I know. The impossible has happened.
So
So
Shockwave,
yeah.
are you? Everyone's asking now because you've been ascended. Are you up 73?
No, I'm not a 73 yet. I haven't even gotten to 72 yet because the way I look at things is I want to try to get as much maxed. Yes, there's an easy path. Once you get to 72, you have to have like 6 buildings done. But I want to try to work everything around. That way I'm better prepared. I've always kind of followed the philosophy of being alpha at your ops.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, you may struggle with the next level daily. So I can kill 71s and even 72s really with a degree of ease, but I just don't want to push my luck either. So, it goes along with that. But as far as outposts go, yes, I'm to the point where with a full loot crew, I can solo the regular 70s, and with 2 ships, I can get through. I can get through the 70 elites. So I'm maximizing loot.
Yeah.
My miners are not maxed yet.
Yeah.
I focused on my Crenshaw so that I could get the board cube, and then now my vengeance is tier 6.
Yeah.
So I'm not really focused on the miners. I'm working on my Divite right now.
Yeah.
But as soon as I do, I'm going to try the mining method so that we can do that. But from what I understand, the single loot crew, without buying the prime, with Cisco as far as he can go until 13, I'm getting 122 plunder a hit with a full max crew.
Nice. Okay.
So it's about 35 to 4,000 plunder for soloing a 70.
Yeah, actually,
and then of course that'll go up with the elite.
Yeah, actually, Lum brings a good point of his miners don't need max. The lower their power, the more loot gets boosted by the main loot crew. So when we say main loot crew, Quasel, what are we suggesting to people? Are we doing E Picard, E Riker, and 5 of 11? That's kind of the
Yep.
And then
because
go on.
Correctly, it's from Riker, so that's not the maximum. If you are very ahead, you can switch out for even 20% more, but that doesn't do a lot anymore. And don't forget dock below deck.
Yeah, dock below deck, obviously that makes a difference. And beer doesn't work. So beer definitely does not work, but dock definitely does. So which is absolutely important. I mean, Lum has been quite successful doing quite a few of these. We've got loads of people doing that, and the reason is you need to focus on just getting that FC Cisco and the skill points. Just keep going. Yes, Vuel, the EMH, the doctor below deck is very, very important for that specific aspect of it. Then, once you achieve all that loot, you'll be able to pull the things you want. I am telling you right now I am actually pleasantly surprised of the amount of stuff that you would want to pull next month. There's loads of very fun things that they've managed to add in. I think they're very, very good. Advark says, does Walk Scotty work on the bridge, Quasel? Walk Scotty.
Yes and no. Revercan Scotty works for the outpost itself.
Yeah.
So if you're after the loot to pull your materials chests,
Yeah.
go for him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't work for the rest. So it's kind of very weird spot to be in for this officer.
Fair enough. Okay. Rough. So not really recommended, but unless you have, because the idea with the miners and Lum brings a good point up. Why is the cadet crew good, Quasel? The cadet crew is quite critical because of the amount of percentage they bring it down. 20? Did you say 24.5? I can't remember. Yeah, which is
22.4 if you're using full synergy, or like I do, I'm using just one-sided synergy and then put lock on.
Yeah.
Because I have enough with one miner.
Yeah.
And you can save on protector juice because you get only one omega 13 per day. So tread carefully depending on where you're at and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. And JPCS, please do DM Quasel after the podcast, so you can.
Or GP can always slide into my DMs.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Austrians have their own way to flirt, and apparently that's the way they like to flirt, which is quite exciting. The Lum also mentions that the particle synthesis on the Squall and the NSEA buff on the Squall, so it survives the outpost and then allows you to gain a touch more loot. Now, Quasel's skeptical about this, that the Squall actually does anything, but the Squall's
it doesn't do much here.
Oh my God!
All things I have seen prove it that it's just because the configuration of that Chaos Tech is the same as any other loot officer. So it goes into the same bucket, and that's related to the power of the ship. But maybe there is a glitch somewhere. I don't know. But I haven't seen it yet.
Well, Lum has come back to you with an outstanding reply, and he says it's greater than 0. Do you agree?
That's true.
Aha! Yeah. Finally, we beat the Austrian. Okay, great. Lum, you're winning. Promotion to Lum. Lum is getting a credit on the video. As special mention for his outstanding performance against that. Ares actually was the first person to bring this up through one of his friends. And Ares says you should get some bonus, but not like the main ship, but you should get some. And I think I will take one extra plunder. I will take one extra plunder per hostile because right now we need to maximize every single piece of loot that we have from that in every single way possible. Also, very, very good. You go to stfc.cc. Fantastic little sheet that's very green, and you'll be able to set your officers up and set everything up in there, and it's really cool. Panda Pirate said, is it worth a singular cadet out of synergy for Phlox? Big question by Panda Pirate. Very good question as well. Quasel?
I mean, a singular is 10%, so decide for yourself if it's worth for you or not.
For Phlox?
I don't see Phlox doing that much.
Yeah. I mean, it's an
don't
idea.
Have a high...
Yeah.
It's. I was thinking about and sometimes voicing weird ideas leads to another weird ideas and you lead up with a total different crew because somebody said something weird.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, no, that's true. And Flossie says, don't forget the hierarch takes plunder and tier up too. Now, Flossie, this is where I'm saying to you, don't focus on that. I would. FC Cisco and his skill point. And just your number one objective is to get Cisco as high as possible, free to play as long as it takes for you to get there. The other objective that you have is to get a skill point and get as much Sigma Commander credit and then time your pickups to get more Vengeance BPs or to get more Vengeance pots and time your spending to those. Hopefully they match with COTA or they match with anything else that's coming or with Galactic, whatever it's called. So that is the most important thing with that. Moving on slightly, the thing that I was going to tell people that, like I told people, you need to be prepared very, very critically, that you need to be ready to have 3 very, very key officers going in the game. My number one recommendation is Walk Carol, tier 4 to tier 5. That's your clue for next that you'll need. You'll definitely need her tier 4. If you can get her to tier 5, it would be absolutely amazing. It will help you in the game when you go to 70-71. It will help you when you're killing hostiles as well because of their shields. And also, she'll be very beneficial for whatever's coming next and will help you out with that. Also, the other objective you've got to do is I would get your Apex Shred. We keep forgetting about maximizing our Apex Shred. We think we have enough, but we don't. So Section 31 Giorgio and Quasi are 2 critical officers to get up there. And then you can actually work your way through. Don't worry about Outpost directives for now. That's all I'm telling you. You don't worry about Outpost directives for now. There will be even more, some sort of drip of some sort. Hopefully, it's a good drip. I don't know. And we don't know how it's going to work and whether it's going to be useful. And for the challenge track that we currently have, Quasi is the officer you should get, Quasel, and even Netniv, and actually, you know what? I'm going to ask a player, Shockwave Prime, how are you enjoying the challenge track? Your thoughts, your genuine player thoughts without my influence. What you think from playing it so far? If you can unmute yourself. Or even if you're there.
Sorry.
There. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I love the challenge track. Yeah, I think it's a great addition.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I'm not crazy about is the double paywall, but I've come to accept why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what you said quite beautifully a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, just you have to refocus how you think of the word completion.
Yes.
But in a vacuum, I think it's a great thing. Especially now that I'm ascended, everything, you know, the Sigma faction credits that we need for the Ophelion and beyond, it's a great drip for that. I actually quite enjoy it every day.
Yeah, I think the Ophelion, hopefully Quasel, hopefully Shockwave Prime, that those temporary additions into the Alliance Tournament Store will become permanent. Our aim, and I'm sure all the CCs here, Major Sam was here, MJ Hat, and any of the others that are in here are all pushing towards these things to stay there as far as possible. Simon says, it's okay. I like the way it's set up. I like what it makes available. Simon says, I'm going to tell you this, right? I believe it's going to get better. And I truly believe that. And I am looking forward to it being better. I also may remove an obstacle or two that we were worried about. As well. So yeah, Major Samuel says, I believe. Major Samuel, I know you're singing when you said I believe. I don't know why you hit the high note, I hit the low note, but hopefully we can synergize there. But the main thing is I believe it'll get better, and I also believe that that issue that you just mentioned, Shockwave Prime, beautifully, what if that suddenly, disappears? Would that suddenly believe that it would make it an interesting track then?
I would say if that's going to suddenly disappear, ooh la la, tell me more.
I wouldn't say suddenly disappear. Suddenly disappear is a very big word, but I say there might be an option or something to get you there in different ways. You can still do bounties, you can still do anything like that, but there might be potential things that I think is very good and beneficial to the player base. So that's why I like that. I'm looking forward to what it is. My number one clue to everybody here, this is not a leak because I don't leak. The number one clue that I'm giving everybody is, if you're a free-to-play player, your number one objective, no matter how long it takes, stop everything you're doing, focus massively on the Excelsior and get that Excelsior as fast as humanly possible. Pull as much of it as possible. Pull every single shard you can. Do every single mission you can. There's anything that gives you even a 1 shard, 2 shards, do it. Get that as soon as possible, the free-to-play player. People who have the Excelsior, your objective is to get those aspects. A Fox says it's a battle pass with 2 changes: a left to right split instead of a up and down 3 steps. First, free-to-play. Second, also free-to-play. Soon pay if you wait. Third, sure pay. Again, very good point. This is why I like the community that we have here and how we do it. We will have also Diclo. Yes, Netniv, go ahead.
So, I don't agree with this statement of double paywall.
Okay.
It is if you want it dead early. If you want it dead early, yeah, it can be considered a double paywall.
Yeah, it's a single
if you
paywall.
also want to do the legendary.
It's a single.
It's a single paywall to me.
And also, it's
if
a
you
paywall.
get a ship, you can get it.
Yeah, go on.
Or you can leave it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you go free to pay, you can get that ship in 100 days or whatever it's going to be, and you've not paid a single thing for it. So there isn't a double paywall there. Yes, there's a standard delay of getting it, and you can't get the things in there right now,
No,
but
yeah.
you will be able to get it free to play, and which is great, because if you think to the past, then you always had to have some way to get the ship before you could get those things, and
Yeah.
sourcing wasn't that great. And I think sourcing's become a lot better for these things, especially for the free to play player.
Yeah, I completely agree. I
it's
think
not
yeah. Yeah, I completely agree, and I think it's a very bonus thing. And you said something really beautiful. Not the double paywall. I just think that the very last bounty, it's a $20 pack. If you wish to have it, get it. If you don't wish to have it, then leave it as that. Beach Whale, Diclo, you've jumped us onto stage with us. What would you like to say, buddy, on this?
Well, first of all, what $20 pack are you talking about? I might have missed something there.
So the $20 is when you get to Epic. If you have the Excelsior, you have to pay $20 to do one daily.
Oh.
Yeah, to get that. So that's the $20 thing we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. But I was going to say, for most of my free-to-play players or cheap-to-play,
yeah,
I would love to see partial BP packs where you can buy unlock on the new ship so that it's only 50 days instead of 100. And I don't know why Scopely quit doing that when they used to do it.
No, and also don't say it's impossible. Remember, this is only the first arc with it. So usually partial packs don't actually appear till you get into it for a month or two's time. So it's not impossible.
Well,
go on.
The problem with going at 2 months, I mean, if you don't put it out before 50 days, then it's just a waste of money for people.
Yeah, true. But also, I think at the 50-day mark, if they're really clever, they should put it up there at that time. So let's give them a month. We will, obviously, all advocates will chase
I still think they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think they should put it at, don't wait the 50 days, you do it at 30 days. And the reason why, because for cheap to play,
yeah,
you're going to go, oh, this is there now. I want to plan for it. If you wait until day 50, they're going to go, and they don't see it for 2 or 3 days, and they're going to be like, well, now I'm just wasting money because I'm already, it's going to give me extra BPs. Unless, it's some, I don't think a lot of the free-to-play players, well, maybe they do. Maybe they'll just be like, okay, well, it'll make up, for the next one I build when I build the second one. They build the 2 of them.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite important to sort of figure that out. MJ Hat, I don't know what you're asking, buddy. Nev, you can help me with that one. NetNiv have started stream. Nigel and NetNiv have started stream. Quasel soon. Oh, I see that he's asking whether Quasel will actually start to stream. Quasel is hopefully going to be here a bit more with us and that through. But Diclo, Beach Dwell, just so we can understand, I get it, and I think that's something we could push for, and that's something that we can all advocate. So hello CCs that are in here listening, and everyone with us, let's all push towards getting these partial packs. And Maktako brings a good point. He says, I agreed with Beach Dwell, this challenge task isn't easy for players that are free to play. However, as you get better accruing, what it does do, which I think is clever, which I don't think no one's really noticed, is that the main aspect of it is it's teaching you to improve your artifacts, improve your ISO defense, and improve a lot of things that you need to progress in this game. And I think that little growing pain that we're all going through is actually really important. Dundesh says that they do just other people's streams. Yeah, exactly, Dundesh. At least I tried on my own, Dundesh. Just give me some credit for one of those. We haven't even done marbles on stream yet, so we'll see how that works. But Beachwell, also, I'd like to point out something, and I think Beachwell, as well as General Arco, I haven't seen for a while, has also brought up, which I think was quite good, was that in the web store, did you guys notice that you can gift a pack now to your Alliance team members?
I heard it was for the Americans only at the minute. Is that true?
Well, I don't know. I haven't looked at my European one. If it's only for the Americans, it'd be great if it migrate itself over. I love the idea of it. It's something that General Arc has been pushing very, very hard. And then yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, somebody said yesterday somewhere, it might have been Spicy Lemon.
Yes.
Europe was behind the US on that happening. It's not even available on the US web store yet, or it wasn't yesterday yet.
Yeah.
Just posted the screenshot over on the official Discord, but it wasn't available yesterday to be able to buy anything for people.
Yeah, exactly. It's there, but it's not usable. But I like the fact it's coming. You know, a lot of you said I want a
Yes.
gift, and I think I enjoy that aspect of being able to go to players and say, "Do you know what? You've done really well this month as an admiral. I'd like to just donate you a battle pass or something." And I hope that could be one of the
Right.
aspects that could be create great gameplay, enjoyment, and it'll be that. Yeah, and obviously James Bond will hopefully not want any of those extra little bits of help because he just wants to continue. Panda Pirate says he is accepting gifted packs. Unfortunately, Panda Pirate, it's only from your alliance mates, and none of your alliance mates like you, so that's a little bit that. Ghost Pepper says bribery. Yes, exactly, bribery to do well in those things. Which is Sniper says it went on and came back off again, which is quite important. Sniper, are you going to join us on stage today, or are you hiding away on how you do stuff? I'm just keeping an eye. Sniper will be joining us, which means I can reveal his avatar. I haven't got one for you, Diclo. I do apologize for that, but Sniper has joined us up on here, buddy. Sniper, you had some great things yesterday.
Hey.
I want you to start repeating some of that stuff because it was outstanding on all that. But yes, do you like the gifted side of it, Sniper?
Yeah, I actually love the gifted side of it. That's been something I've wanted to have for a long time. I think there's plenty of people who would, since we don't have anything like a trading system or any other, means of, helping our alliance mates directly. I think anything that
Yeah.
is provided as a tool where we can help support others, I think is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you, and absolutely agree. And that is the most important thing. We as you know, we spoke about the Outpost Battle Pass. We spoke about this little web store thing. We spoke about the fact that the USS Excelsior is a vital thing to have. The 3 officers that everyone should focus on. I'm going to repeat it non-stop. Walk Carroll. You need Apex Shred. So Quasi and Section 31 Giorgio is very, very important and to do, and very, very vital to help you on what's potentially that's going to be coming. And then also, whatever the feature is, I believe that if you're an Ops 70 or G7 player, I think suddenly we're going to find more players getting to 73, I hope. And I think it'll be very, very, very useful with that. Without bringing up too much of the topics that are specifically for the VIPs, because we're trying to create its own thing and well on here, and more of the discussions with regards to that. What do you guys think? I'm going to open the floor to chaos. Galactic Rush. Sniper, thoughts?
Oh, you're starting me off with the fun one, huh?
Yeah, exactly. What do you think?
All right.
Go on.
I see what happens in this stream.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Galactic Rush. Listen, I'm happy that they took some feedback and made some improvements.
Yes.
I think it still has a lot of challenges to be, to be kind about it, right? It has a lot of more area for improvement.
Yes.
I think that reducing the amount of servers on the RLB helps because then you have higher chances of actually getting into that premium area.
Yeah.
I realistically think that they need to do a little bit more on that front. Maybe just make it, a ALB on the server, or make it maybe tied in since it's so close to incursions. Make it an ALB between the 2 servers, like an XALB that we used to have around incursion time where the 2 servers would face off against each other. I could see that being, somewhat reasonable.
Yeah.
I still don't love the idea of cascading events that don't cascade the score because
Yeah.
that can lead to a lot of lost points.
That's the main
I
point.
really liked when we had the Boldly Go events where they had a bunch of things that were tied to different days and locked, but the
Yeah.
score would count across them all. I wish they would do it more like that. I think a lot more players would participate in it if they felt like they weren't going to potentially lose points because it's only applying to the things that happen to be unlocked. So
Ye-
I think we need that aspect.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think the biggest problem with it, I mean, the problem is you can't calculate the spend. Like you can't do 3 million and then the overspend goes to the next one. You end up like way overdoing the 3 million. Then you're really annoyed, and then you do the hostiles, and then you're like, oh, I could have done with a bit of that 3 million to go towards this, and then so on and so forth as it
Exactly.
works its way through. And I think that's its major issue, is that if there was an overflow to it, so that let's say if you material spend 44 million over the 5 SMSs, you would more likely go, great, well, I know if I spent 6 million on the first one, 3 million will go over, I can still do the hostiles and everything like that. Is actually really important to see how that sort of works in that way, and then you'd feel a lot happier with it. But what do you think, other than making that change, are the rewards worth it, Sniper? What do you think?
So, to be honest, if I'm looking at it from, because if we look at it as a material spend event, right? Because there's hostile grind mixed in there. And by the way, if I was to make another major change,
Yep,
I would on just the event structure itself,
yep,
I would flip around the spend and the hostile events. So you had the hostile
yep,
event as the first event, so everyone could get a little taste, right? Before jumping into material spend, like every single person, even not going to spend materials on it, at least could finish the first event.
yep,
I think that would be an improvement.
yes,
But going to the event store and the rewards, I think the rewards are pretty average, I would say, in
yep.
uh,
I mean, what
the
Carol's in
regular
there?
store,
I
like
mean,
the non-premium. I mean, Walktara is good, but she's available in Officer
yeah,
Depot tokens as
yeah,
well.
true.
It never hurts to have more, right? More is more, but we got to think of it from the perspective of there people are spending mats on this, right? So you could spend mats in Coda and get like the latest, newest officer, a bunch of shards there, or you could spend all these mats and you get access to these officers that are generally speaking available elsewhere, right?
Yeah,
So I think that's part of it too, is like the event itself is not you know designed in such a way that a lot of players like it. In fact, a lot of players dislike it. But then the rewards also are not something that these are not must have rewards.
yes,
And I think as you go to the premium area,
yeah,
there starts being some nice things there, right? You start getting, those G7 artifacts,
yeah,
premium mirror dust, even
yes.
some primes they threw in there now.
Oof.
So there's a lot of interesting stuff once you get to the premium area. But again, you have to score in the top 10 alliances, right?
Yeah.
So it's it's no guarantee that you're going to be able to get that.
No, and also if you finish 10th place, you only get like one token or something like that. So it's like I like the idea of it. I get the premium. They're trying to want people to do a bit more. Major Samuel says yes, would love the Boldly Go to come back. She also says yes, the lockdown spend SMS with no roval is one of the biggest aspect that kills it. I agree. Lum brings a good point up. He's like, I put one building and it already goes over. So how am I? How am I supposed to do? How about to do stuff in it? Sandra, though, comes up with a theory here,
Yep.
Sniper, and Quasel as well. It would be much better if we could just purchase one lat chest for our materials, costing a few thousand uncommon or rare or epic materials, so we could just throw away some mats to score in it. What do you think of that idea? That's not bad.
I'm totally for that. I mean, we have tons of, older mats that there's no good way to spend them, right?
Yes.
Because we don't have things to spend them on beside from like building ships that we don't need, which I'm not even going to get into the
Oh
reason
God.
why
Yeah.
that's a problem, and you know why.
Oh God. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
but
that
so
word, by the
I
way,
think that
yeah, that word, by the way, everyone is banned from this stream ever. The word scrapping does not exist in this stream or any of the streams of mine. I've had that question so many times, like, and that people have come up with clever things around, the word scrapping. Scrapping doesn't exist until July
Yeah, so
2026.
I won't use that term, but
Yes.
I think we still know the reason. But yeah, I think there's a ton of people, myself included, who would be more than happy to say, hey, you want all these Matt Spend events? Great. I will dump a bunch of my G5, my
Yeah.
G4, my G3 that we, by the way, still get in packs
Yes.
when
Yes.
we buy stuff.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
And I'd be more than happy to be like, hey, I'll just donate them X amount of them for points, right? And get them out of my inventory.
Yeah.
I'm,
yeah.
more than willing to do that. And, if you want to bring more spend events, as long as I'm able to donate them. And they've had this mechanic before, by the way. They've
Yeah.
had events that you had a donation for different older materials, right?
Yeah.
Not mats per se, but like older
Yes.
ship parts or
Yeah.
older other things, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not like that doesn't exist or they'd have to like do a whole new development effort. They had the mechanic before, so I think if they want to tie spend events to those, I
Yeah.
think that's not a bad idea.
No, that's pretty good. I mean, and a few a few people have brought a few good points up. KJ, I'm going to invite you on the stage if you wish to come. I would love to have you up here, buddy, as well, because I think KJ will always have some good points to bring up and challenge Sniper quite heavily. And KJ, you did ask me for an actual avatar, and I do have one for you. So as I reveal it to you, which will make you laugh, KJ, please, what would you like to say about this? KJ?
Hi everyone.
Oh my God, KJ's being
I'm-
nice. This is weird.
I needed to compose myself for a moment.
Oh God, why?
So obviously a little bit of an unpopular opinion.
Woohoo!
I think that Galactic Rush is exactly what they said it was going to be when they told us it was coming.
Yeah.
Earlier this month, they
Yeah.
told us it was coming. They gave us the event structure. We either do it or we don't, right? And I just looked at my leaderboard, and there are alliances that are going hard. Those are metrics that Scopely has, that the events are being completed, and people think that it's worth dumping their mats in. So
Yeah.
they will continue to run the event this way if people continue to do it this way.
Yes. True.
The only way to get a change is to stop giving them the metrics. That's my first point.
Yeah. Okay.
Sniper, you know that I love you to death, and you know that I love that you have a lot of good insights, but we've got to get out of this mindset of just dumping something for free, right?
Yes.
That was the same thing with the I won't say the word, but the delete button as an alternative, right? Like the crowd went wild
Yeah.
with the delete button, and that's basically what we're doing with this event. Is it's a delete button, right,
Yes.
for your mats.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a very slippery slope to go down.
Sniper, your
So
rebuttal. Go on.
I would disagree with the fact
Ooh.
that would be throwing the mats away in the same way that a delete button is, because a delete button, you're essentially giving up for nothing, right? In this case, I'm not talking about giving up for nothing. You're giving away for points on the board, which ultimately lead to the rewards that are on the board. So the rewards that include, by the way, G7 mats for G7 players or G6
Yeah.
mats for G6 players, as well as officer shards and all the different things you can get in the reward. So you have these G5 or G4 or even G3 mats sitting in your inventory.
Yeah.
It's essentially, I hate to say, I don't want to use the word, but it's similar to that word that shall not be named, where
Recycling.
you're essentially taking something old and recycling it to something new.
Yeah.
So I think by putting those mats in, I'm not getting nothing out of it. I'm getting access to the rewards for the event and the rewards for the event store in exchange for my old mats.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
then I think you got to be very careful, right, to ensure that the delete from your inventory is a 1-for-1 scoring metric, because we know that that's not going to happen, because you're also not spending any par, dill, or trit when you do this. And
Yeah.
when they're making their scoring metrics, they're budgeting that in, right? So would you be okay with the tax on that?
Oh, great question.
There always is going to be a tax on it, right? You're never going to get a 1-for-1. You don't get a 1-for-1 now. If I upgrade a ship component in this event and don't reach the milestone, I get nothing for it, right?
Yes.
So I could be spending thousands of mats and I'd be 1 point away from the milestone of the event and I don't win that reward, right? I mean, so that's always going to exist. Now, do I believe in like like an overwhelming tax where, like, you're going to be doing like 20 to 1, wasting a bunch of stuff? No, I think it should be fair, even conversion rate that is, reasonable. Now, what we consider reasonable and what scope we consider reasonable
Yeah.
may not be the same thing. So,
Yeah.
so KJ, I'll give you that one for sure.
Yes.
If we just leave it to the predations of billion accounting, right? Like we probably will not be. We're probably getting a pretty raw deal, right?
Yeah, true. And also between the two of you, I think that there's very good points both sides. And in the chat, there's a couple of supporting comments here. Simon says, I've repeatedly had to break it to my alliance that I will not participate in Galactic Rush because it's not worth it for me. This affects morale within the alliance and the game, which kind of supports one side. But also, Jim PI says Galactic Rush is somewhat worthless until they add a max tier ship component to the game. Spending hours adding components to G4 ships is nauseating, not worth the effort, but completion is the tax. And delete. Also, Simon says deleting a ship is also deleting the ship parts titanium, whereas donating it is just putting the RS for points. The trick would be if the reward is worth participating. If it is, then yes, I'd be donating all the RS for 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. If not, I'll hold them and wait.
But what they would do, right, is they would take the 3-star, 4-star, 5-star metric out of scoring for 71 players.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Because we have millions and billions of it.
Hey, Jess. Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree. And I think this just needs a little rejig. So they already told us that they rejigged it for this time. And was the rejig major? Not the points, but the stuff that's in there is the rejig. Hopefully, they will now listen further and they'll rejig it even more. We would love, like, KJ, you do agree, like, it's better to start with the hostiles rather than the material spend, just to kind of get people going in it, at least, right? What would you think?
Joe, sure. I mean, everything should start. A first milestone of any event should be obtainable by free-to-play. We went through this when we were talking about the Syndicate Advancement event, right?
Yes.
Where we wanted people to be able to at least get the first milestone relatively free to play or easily obtainable. What they've done now is my fundamental problem with this event is, let's say I buy 5 packs.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Let's just say I buy 5 packs, and because I want to get to the premium gold rewards.
Yes.
And it looks good for 2 days, and then my alliance completely drops off.
Yeah.
And now I place in 11th or 12th in my alliance. Now I don't have access to those rewards.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the problem, and that's it's the overspend just to get even. Yeah, it's a little bit messy. I know what they're trying to do, and I hope that they listen and make the changes required to make it, because it's an alliance-based event. We want that. But, like, for example, if they had the boldly go element where over 5 days you have to achieve these 5 days worth of things over the course of time, and there's an SMS attached every single day that gives you bonus stuff, that would be kind of a balance between the two. And that'll be, and also the other major thing, and MJ Hat's brought it a couple of times, 10 alliances out of 3 or 4 servers is quite large and something not easy to try and sort out. And is one of those things where it's just people saying, are they limiting the rewards? I'm like, no, what they're doing is they're encouraging you to go and join bigger alliances, better alliances. Like KJ always tells General Arc to come and join them on his server because they're slightly better alliances, and so on and so forth. Shockwave Prime, you unmuted yourself, buddy. Have you got a thought in this as well? Anything you'd like to jump in with?
I do.
Yeah, go on.
Thank you. I want to be on record. I competed in Galactic Rush the first time because it would benefit my alliance. But I now hate this event because it's nothing but a mat drain.
Yeah.
That being said, I believe there is a middle ground here. I think because of what everybody is saying about, getting the materials, and like KJ brought up a great point.
Yeah.
Maybe you push, and then all of a sudden you drop off or your alliance drops off. You shouldn't be penalized for that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just kind of thought of something that maybe pass along. It's definitely worth asking, I think.
Of course.
Why not open up the store, what you get in the premium area included to all players.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
if you finish in the top 10, you can maybe pull double or even triple those materials instead. So that way the 3 million or for everybody, you'd have the opportunity to get 1,250 premium mirror dust,
Yeah.
1.5 million syndicate, an
Yeah.
a rep exo comp.
Yeah.
But then maybe if you finish in the top 10, you can get the 3 million syndicate and the 2,300 premium mirror dust and 2 exo comps or something like that. I think that's a good middle ground.
Yeah, I agree, and hopefully that they'll listen to this and sort of think about it as a way of making change. Because no one here, like if you're listening to this after, no one here is attacking any of this. Everyone understands the concept of how this business works. What we're trying to do is trying to guide you on how we would engage better by giving us better chances at getting those things. And Shockwave, KJ, and Sniper have all come up with various different ways, all overlapping each other, but they all have the same concept of allow us to have an overflow, maybe open the store up. A boldly go is a very good way. Major Sam has brought it up a couple of times. Halo says that he's okay with the tax because resources don't come quickly enough for these events. Like I said earlier, once a month is not sustainable with all the other spend events. The problem is you've added a spend event and you've taught everybody to go save everything for COTA so you can get your officer. So now you're teaching people two different aspects are, against each other. Lum brings a good point up where he says people aren't going to leave their friends for an event. They're just not going to do it. So in other words, putting the top 10 alliances also restricts that. But Jim PI says the premier tier concept is the worst part about it. It just make that part of the store and make it AMS to enter instead of RALB. Niv, your thoughts as well on this?
I'd go with boldly go. It's
Go
a
on.
double-edged sword
Yeah.
I think for some people
Okay.
because the concept of it is great in that if you want to get in early, you can get them all pre-prepped and done and ready,
Yeah.
etc. for a lot of it. But for some, they'll look at that task list and it'll just seem like a lot,
Yeah.
and they just switch off from it because they're just like,
True.
oh, do you know what? I'll put it off. I'll do it later. I'll procrastinate. And then they get towards the end of the week and they're like, oh my God, I've got so much to do. And there's just no way I'm going to get through it all. So I do like it, but I also just wonder whether there's some part of the player base that we're sort of alienating because it's just so much to do. There are so many things because
Yeah.
there's like 5 tasks a day, isn't there, or more. So if you get to the end of the week, that's 25 things you've got to do on the last day.
Yeah, true, but you've given yourself 5 days to do it. I mean, KJ has said on Discord that everything should be done. But Beach Swale has just come up with an absolute doozy, as Panda Pirate brings up a very good point. He says, I had to scrap my thoughts a couple times here. Absolutely do not like Galactic Rush, just using a different word for you, Des Diclo. The amount of materials required for the spend is not a good ROI for what is asked, and I can't wait for COTA and get 2 tiers for brand new officer, but I would spend a lot more. Make the SMS hostiles kills only, with high marks needed to complete all the SMS. Move the spend to a 5-day XALB. Bring back McCallus Challenge. It's fun. It gets the Alliance members involved. Everyone partakes without much prompting required. And Little Tim says, I love it when the tasks are over soon so that we can actually interact with the community. Too many tasks makes it isolated gameplay experience. And then finally, Panda Pirate comes up with a very good point. Said Galactic Rush is a hard pass from Panda, who is one of the, do you know that Panda owns a system, by the way, people, which has if you squint, I'm behind the cloud and you can barely see my name, but my name is in there somewhere. Panda made sure I was hidden, while Stony Dude and everybody else is quite public. He says, surges are nearly impossible to get enough Alliance members online simultaneously. Galactic Rush asks Alliance members to spend materials on a non-COTA event. So Panda's not a fan. But Floyd, Floyd also said he can't do much of Boldly Go. Quasel, what are your thoughts? You haven't jumped in on this one. What would you think?
Well, most of us I heard agree with. We don't know the costs for the top 10 stuff, so that's kind of a little bit of a question mark for now, which is weird because why don't show it? I don't get that because so people can work to it. Oh, I want that prime or whatnot, but then those have limits. So and the rest is like, I mean, for me, it's most likely skipping it because 3 million, you need to use a smaller ship. You can do big things.
Yeah,
It's 10 steps to do in 24 hours and this and that. And I don't think swapping the first task around does a lot because the hostile tasks don't give currency for the store. So it's nice for the players to easily score on the Allianz leaderboards to at least help with 1 point.
Interesting.
I'm all for that, but it won't them help do anything points wise for the store. So it's like cutting out everybody. There's no real free part to it, not even a little gift. So like, you see, there is something. Go shopping, get 2 officers. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, but also, Quasel, I need you to
So
watch out because I've just let George onto the stage. We don't have an avatar for George because George is a mystery to everybody. George,
Hello, Quasel.
calmly,
I agree with
Good evening.
Panda.
Go on.
I agree with Panda and Quasel.
Oh wow, okay. And
The event, the Galactic Rush event, is a little bit too steep in the points for building materials. It is hard. I mean, you're only getting a little hard. I did yesterday. I think only 3 hostile kills and the 3 pending because
okay.
it was a for the vengeance blueprint. I mean, the parts. But the rest of the week, I'm not gonna do it because it's not that. I had a couple of guys we tried to do with a G5. Oh man, we built 2 G5 for 1 day event, and it's like it's a waste of materials for it
Yeah,
comparing to the COTA.
yeah, exactly, George. I think that's the most important thing with that, and it's very critical to make them understand, which is why we're doing this, because it's a recorded stream and hopefully something that they'll listen back to and they'll realize that that is the way to sort of figure out on how what we would like to do to help us engage more. KJ's brought some good points up. Sniper's brought his alternative. So is Shockwave Prime, Quasel, Netniv. Everyone's got different opinions, so it's very hard to please everybody with that. Lum also says that I'm committing career suicide, but I vow to you, Lum, George is going to behave himself because this is a Twitch stream as well. So George is only going to speak when I point my finger at him, hopefully, and he can do that. So, George, any other thoughts regarding this? The floor is yours, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
Well, the one thing I disliked today's event is they brought the specialty ships.
Okay.
For as a spending, when we used that during the COT,
yes.
for our officers, new officers.
Yeah.
So they're trying to engage us to spend more, or not have enough to do our COTA. So I encourage about that.
Yeah, I agree, George. And the one thing you've got to realize, you don't have to do it. Like, I mean, it gives you some officer depot tokens. So this is the aspect of what I'd like to promote in this world that we're in. If you don't like it, just don't do it. It's fine. It's fine to just ignore it. And it's fine to just go, do you know what? I don't want to do it. And I didn't do it. Like, I looked at it, I was going, 40,000, I'm never going to be first. I'd rather save a COTA. Save and pick and choose. Remember when I said completion, what does completion mean? For me, completion is getting the officer. So all my focus is, I'm ignoring anything unless it gives me a benefit towards getting more uncommon gas, Sniper? Bloody uncommon G7 gas. All I want is more.
Oh, please, all the G7 gas
Yes,
we could possibly
just-
get. Then we need.
If anyone donates to Panda, take the G7 gas away from the donation. Give all the G7 uncommon gas to me, and then I'll split it 80-20 with Sniper. I'll give 20% to Sniper.
No
one
offense,
final
but why is anyone
question.
donating to Panda?
Because we all love Panda, KJ. Do you not love Panda?
I love
Planet
Panda,
Hill.
but Panda's got a thick enough credit card where he can get his own uncommon gas.
Ooh, look at you.
And he has his own planet and a whole universe. I think he has enough to get
Panda.
his own.
Oh, Nigel and Quasel, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go on.
Maybe Quasel could help a little bit more.
Oh,
so
okay.
The
Quasel.
challenge.
Go on.
The challenge right now, this arc challenge, we have O'Hara on there.
Yes.
There's been some talks from some other CCs and something. The challenge will stay, but they're going to change it to a different officer, or change the payout. Is that going to happen, or anybody knows?
Well, George, do you think if we knew the answer to that under an NDA, we can answer that question?
It's the same thing like the Outposts. When we had the Outposts, they said it was only going to be temporary, so nobody wanted to buy the primes. Nobody wanted to invest.
Yeah.
But
mean,
the outpost, the outpost, it was because the players wanted to stay.
Yeah.
So they listened to the
Mm.
players for the one time.
So yeah, I'll answer this as best you can. I'm gonna save Quasel because Quasel's an official CC and I'm just a lowly moderator, so they can be angry with me. We can't answer that question, George. But if I were you, I wouldn't worry, and we'll just leave it as that. Okay. That's all I will say to you.
And also,
Yeah.
you know what you're buying before you invest in the token for that week, right?
Yes.
So you see the entire track, and
Yes.
so you know if,
Well, let's say if I don't want to spend
there.
the $20 this week for the extra Uhura blueprint, because I'm thinking, okay, this challenge is gonna be for Uhura for several months, maybe, or whatever.
Yeah.
But now my thinking is I might have to spend that extra $20 to finish the the legend.
That's the
because
business model.
next
You've got to
arc,
decide
it
if it's
might
worth it.
be a
Whoa,
new
whoa, whoa, guys.
officer.
Yeah, guys, let's stop there. George, I told you my answer,
sorry.
and that answer gives you exactly what the clue that I wanted to give you. Think
Yep.
about
I
what
did.
I said.
I heard you.
Exactly. So you don't need to worry, and we'll just leave it there. So there's nothing. And KJ brings a very good point up. He's like, you can see what you're spending for the week. You can make a decision if you want to get to the end of that spend, and then you can decide of whether you want to move towards it, which is a very good point. Floyd and $50 have said a different thing. Floyd, I know you say boldly go, you can't do much, so please do come to the Discord that we have. Please come and ask questions in there. We're there to help you. We will guide you, and I promise you we can find a way to get you through a lot of the hostiles, a lot of the issues that you have. Exclamation mark Discord in the chat if you wish to just come and join us. Please come in, and we will show you the way. $50. You brought up a few good points there that I've listened to, and we are quite happy to help out in every way. So please do ask us the questions, and we'll make sure that we make that happen. Panda Pirate is asking everybody that he would like to open a donation fund on the VOTP and the STFC Briefings website for Panda's fund to help him get more stuff from the store. And Panda, yeah, nobody wants to donate. Sorry. Panda, and then Panda donates it back to someone else. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, exactly that. JK from RBL from my server. Very lovely, buddy. Nice to see you. Hey, we need to be ready for incursions. Incursions is coming Saturday, people. So why is anyone in territory today? You need to start getting your people out from today. Today. Because, you know, it's like, yes, NetNiv is now going to destroy this chat with a funny limerick.
No, I'm going to dispute that as some of my guys are deciding they're staying in territory until Saturday lunchtime when there is a takeover.
Oh,
so,
my God.
Yeah, we've had yeah.
Which server?
Yeah, which server? Wait, which server is that?
I would not disclose a server number on that one. Sniper's like, sorry, what server number is this?
Incursions.
I'm going to ask Paulie to change us to that.
Yeah, change that.
Incursions until Saturday evening, so they will be out by then because it's my active players. Anybody that's one of the less active ones don't. So
yeah, they don't do anything.
Easy. You stay in territory, and once incursion starts, you jump immediately over and check the opposing territory. That's the way to do it.
Look, Quasel, not all of us are in like one of the top 5 alliances in the world.
Do not tell my secret.
Yeah, exactly. All the way. All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on. Yeah. Okay. Let's see how that goes with that one. So, just bear in mind with that incursion and how everything sort of works out with that one. But keep yourself in mind. Get your people out of incursions. $50 text says, I love incursions. Panda Pirate says, at least 10% will go to pandas in the wild to avoid endangered species status. Okay. If you wish to help Panda with the endangered species, just go. Do you know what you should do? You should go to www.stfcbriefings.com. Join there. I will be giving away yet another $100 merch at the end of the stream, and we'll announce it and we'll provide it. So, chance to be a member for free, just to get 1 entry. Follow us on Twitch, get a 2nd entry. Ooh, you see what I did there? Entry number 2 can be on Twitch. Entry number 3 is on YouTube. That's 3 free entries to get the merch. Some people have picked up some great stuff. Foxdis got himself a nice hoodie. I hope it's nice. We have also Killer Angel, who's got something really lovely, and as well as Little Tim and other people. They can also, Dante says, they can look at STFC.pro to see what server NetNiv is on. Brilliant decision there. That's if anyone's got NetNiv server, you know his tactics: attack his alliance non-stop and make his life a miserably. Beached Whale says we get everyone out 48 hours. How would you even know if we're on? Yeah, exactly. That is the most important thing, to help people with that. So we spoke about Galactic Rush. We know what we can do with that one. We spoke about Outposts. I've given you the little hints towards what's coming up with regards to the USS Excelsior that you need to make sure you do. Also, I will tell you this. Listen carefully. This is outstanding. There is something that's coming that will benefit you in such a way that's unreal. They haven't changed it. And I truly believe you need to listen to a podcast. And at about the 40-ish minute mark, which is towards the end, we tell you exactly what it is that will help you for the next arc and maybe make rep grinding very interesting. So keep a very close eye on it. Jules and I give you the little clue for it, which is very, very good. So keep an eye on that one. It's even something the CCs don't know. And I know Quasel potentially may know, but nobody else is. Sandra says, is Panda accepting donation in the form of bamboo? Yes, Panda will accept anything that he can exchange for cash. That is definitely something that could do that. Lum, for once, Lum says he wants me to continue whispering in his ear. That is really weird. I think my missus will divorce me. Well, we're not married. Oh, no, I've just started the thing. No. Yeah, there'll be a ring one day. No, yeah, oh, for God's sake. Guys, we need donations to help me buy a ring. What's the cheapo one from Amazon that we can put it? Of course I'll buy an expensive one. I won't buy an expensive one. No, of course I will. No, I will never do that. Yes,
I know someone that can 3D print you a ring.
Done. 3D printed ring. Special, unique, limited edition. Available on banditprint.com. And use the, what's the promo code? VOTP. Is that
through the 31st? It's VOTP VD.
VOTP VD, just to make it. It doesn't mean that you're going to get like a transmission disease VD. It actually just VOTP, and then you put VD Valentine's Day for that. Yeah, for Valentine's Day. See, love. This is love. Okay, she's walked away. All right, guys. So that was my relationship. Now it's down and over. I need to find somebody else. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, no, I love you. Okay, that dream's not happening. Okay, never mind. We tried it. Can you 3D print gold? LOD asks the question, KJ, is that possible? Is that something we can help with and see where it goes with that? KJ, can you 3D print gold? Is that a yes or no? Probably no.
I can 3D print you a gold bar that's not worth anything.
Wow.
Sure.
But worth the price of the print. So about $50, right? Something like that? Ish?
No.
Okay, well, you know, your prices are good. I know that, which is absolutely amazing. Maybe one day KJ will do a giveaway. Maybe we will buy a giveaway from KJ one day. I think that's good. Maybe we'll buy a gift pass. That's what we're going to do. That one that we can do. KJ has put it into the VOTP Discord. If you'd like to join in, please help him. He's a wonderful person. We want to help people who are doing his little side stuff and everything like that. And also the face of the dog that you see on the avatar, which KJ is quite surprised to see for the first time. He enjoys it there.
Wait, I don't see the avatar. Where's the avatar?
It's on the Twitch stream. You know.
Stand by.
Oh yeah, okay. Stand by. That should be good. Yeah, it's quite good. It appears.
No, go ahead.
KJ said, what does a 3D print vaulted latinum cost? SD Ballyboom is asking KJ. He would like to purchase a 3D printed vault of latinum.
That depends on who's asking. It depends on if it's in the style of Scopely or not.
Oh God. Okay, yeah. So in the style of Scopely or not is
Oh, see, that's a cute avatar.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? I thought we did a good job with that one.
Yeah, that's a hybrid of what I said. Yeah.
Exactly. So look, now we'll move on to G7 content a little bit, people. So I do apologize for this. There's 2 specific things we want to talk about. I will speed through the first one because I can't really give answers on here regarding it. The veal overcrowding, Sniper. Talk to me. Why? I'm telling you right now, I believe more people will be 73 next month, and I've got my own reasons. But Sniper, what are we going to do about this veal overcrowding? What are the thought processes regarding it?
Yeah, we definitely got to do something about it because I think we're getting a bunch of players that are more getting bunched up, in the 71, 72 kind of realm. And now they're all wanting to complete their dailies. And, even timing wise, a lot of people want to do it around reset, right? So we're seeing those systems start becoming deeper and deeper in
Yeah.
terms of being backed up, right? And so I think some action is needed. Not that I'm myself a big miner, right?
Yeah.
But everyone wants to get the rep and the faction credits, and
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what it comes down to. The current design really, if you want to keep pace, it requires you to do the
Hmm.
mining dailies
Yeah.
in the Veil, and there's simply not enough space for everyone to be able to reasonably do that at the current moment.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. And I just feel like with every single iteration of this game, we've had in G5 we had the Dominion token system, right? That was the solution to that one. In G4 it was also in there. In G6 it was the ones in the Silent Hostiles, that was a token system to add a few more mines. I truly believe that they will continue to do this iteration on coming forward, and they'll eventually introduce some sort of G7 something, whatever that is, and hopefully that will open up a bit of breathing space. But I truly believe that that what they've done is they've stopped everyone at 73 unless you're a major spender and want to go to 73, 74 and be up the premium, which is fair enough. You're allowed to speed and become more progressive if you wish to do so. But then I truly believe with the amount of the uncommon G7 specific sort of cost efficiencies, more people will start going to 73, which means more mines will get released, but then more people from G6 will start coming up to G7. That's still going to be a little path where everyone's going to struggle massively in it. So that is a really important thing
Although,
for them to solve. Yes.
Nigel,
Nigel,
so I just want, oh, go, sure, Quasar, go ahead.
that was me, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Here, Quazel.
Yeah, Beached Well next.
Go ahead first, KJ.
Oh, yeah, KJ.
No, go ahead
Okay.
first, KJ.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want to be careful with saying that more nodes are going to open up when people go to 73. The only way that more nodes are going to open up is if people have a miner that can go to warp, 2200 natively, or they have a max vengeance with the summon to take them to the next set of nodes.
Or the disco.
Right now,
The disco can do it. The disco can summon you there.
the disco won't be able to take you past 73.
Yep.
This can only take you to 73,
Yeah.
even fully loaded. And I think that's the Vax Vengeance with the summon ability can take you further. But I think that's even the problem, is even pushing the limits with the disco and everything, even going to the 73 systems. That's the new thing, is even those are starting to get very overcrowded. It used to be
Yep.
just the 71s and the 72s were, but now even the 73s
Yeah.
are, hard pressed to find a node anywhere around reset.
Yeah, and I'm about to answer you, KJ, before Beachwell jumps in. Is that what I mean is, as players spread about through all, because everyone's bunched up at the moment, as players spread about, hopefully that releases the pressure on the nodes. I understand it may not be the specific thing that's great, but Beachwell, what is your thoughts regarding this? And then we can have a little debate on it.
So I am pretty much going to back KJ here. And, I've mentioned you a few times over the last couple of months, our survey part, because for people getting the 73 is not going to fix anything. Because I am one of the only people on my server that have all 368s at tier 13 or higher. You need the tier 14 warp core and Grush just to get one of those to the 73 system. Or, most people might have one ship that could get there. They can't kill 73 hostiles unless they're vengeance and it's high enough, at least not well. So just getting more people to 73 really doesn't solve anything, because there's nobody in the 74 and 75 systems other than Mining Monday, when we all just summon our miners out there with the max vengeance. But everybody 73 and under, until they can actually get a vengeance high enough or get a 73 uncommon, which the current spend required to do any of that
Yeah.
going to be months before those first 3 systems get uncrowded.
Well, I think you just need to be aware of it because the reason I'm asking about this chat is I'm going to lead it now towards the Aphelion. Is the Aphelion because we can only get it? Is it tier? It's tier 5, isn't it, Quasel? Tier 5, where it's reach warp 3000, right? Approximately ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you get the Aphelion to tier 5, does that now become quite an essential thing to get for G7, or do you still skip it because you need it to mine a bit more? Yes, Diclo. Go on.
Now,
Yeah.
if next month changes things when Sigma credits, maybe. But right now, if you a massive spender where, like me, I'm going to go buy whatever Sigma credits I need for my 73 uncommon for Coda.
Yeah.
You don't get enough credits to build the Aphelion anytime soon. I got. Actually, I think if I spent all my Sigma credits I have right now, I'd still be 5 BP short of being able to build it.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to buy all my Sigma credits for my uncommon.
Well,
where right now I'm waiting to just get my uncommon.
Yeah.
So how many people are going to even be able to build the Aphelion, let alone get it to T5, when getting survey parts is an issue because they never do anything to give survey parts?
Yeah, true.
Good clip.
Yeah, I completely agree. And Chronox, thank you very much for giving me the info. Is that they're just 76 people or 73 or higher. I think that number will easily double, if not triple, next month. So it will allow that. It's just the thought about the Aphelion. The problem with the Aphelion is like tier 5 takes a bit of time. Also, one of our local people here brought up a very good point as well in Darth Haywire, who said, and I saw you saw this, Sniper, didn't you? Do you know that one part, and is it a 76 rare? Is it 76 rare? Was it, Sniper?
No, I think that was a 76 uncommon, actually.
76
it was a higher level. It was like tier 12 or something.
Guess how much Sigma trit you need for one component. I'm not even joking when I say this number. It was terrifying to see. Yeah.
10 to 15 million would be my guess.
No.
Extremely terrifying. Think bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Monkey said 38.5 million Sigma trit. 38
for a T12 component.
For a T12.
Yeah, for one single component. So this is the thing that everyone also needs to think about, right? Because even once we get to 73, and I think Nigel, you and I talked a little bit about this, right? I think the next major thing that'll start coming as we'll see the cost of the 73 ships is we're going to then need 73 ship or G7 ship cost efficiency. So I don't know how much the Aphelion has that, but I think it also has, just generally speaking in the game, miners tend to have pretty high, trit requirements, right?
Yeah.
So even aside from the faction credits, I think that's going to be the other challenge with the Aphelion is how far are players going to want to get it when they're going to want to also use that trit, not only for building progression, which also requires Sigma trit, by the way, not just Sigma steel, but also for their G7 uncommon if they're quickly getting to G7.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good first step to get more people to 73 and a good first step to even get past the faction credits or the BPs.
Yes.
To get the Aphelion, but that's not the last step, right? I think there's going to need to be then cost efficiencies, or to Beach Well's point, we're going to need more survey parts available.
Yeah.
The answer to your question, Sniper?
Just let's look at how G6 evolved. I mean, 3 months into G6, maxing a ship higher up, it would have been way out of reach for me. And now it's like, okay, that's done. I have a max epic.
Yeah.
And I'm not a high spender. Sure, it's tempting for now. And on the one part, I'm happy it's slow because G6 went way too fast. On the other hand, it's tempting because I'm looking at that wall at 72 now. But then I'm let's wait for it. I mean, every month we have seen more efficiencies. of course, we need efficiencies for rare mats, and we need efficiency for ship parts, and we need
Yeah.
more sourcing. Like, I don't know, I'm on a Wien 2.0 for Sigma Trit and stuff. And removing one bottleneck just reveals the next bottleneck. So it's like
Yeah, no, it's true. And then,
yeah.
KJ, what were your thoughts regarding this? Because I know you wanted to come in with
Uh,
something.
so the answer to your question, Sniper, I heard you say it depends on how high someone wants to get the Aphelion if they choose to get it. And anyone that chooses the Aphelion, their only goal is to get away from everyone else mining.
Yeah.
So if it takes tier 6 to get the Aphelion,
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
right? So that's the benchmark. And then as soon as everyone else gets to that area, you got to get away from the masses. So that's where everyone is going to decide when to dump their mats into the Aphelion.
Yeah.
And then Nigel, the only thing is
Yeah.
the Aphelion isn't a 73 issue. The Aphelion's it's a 71 ship. You can build it at 71.
Yes.
So I just don't see that, if there's, some sort of an efficiency next month and people go to 73, great for them. That doesn't change the lack of nodes or the overcrowding in those systems
Yeah.
because we're still all in the same spot.
Yeah. Yeah. I am hesitant in a few things, and you'll understand why. But I wanted to bring
Yeah,
up
of course.
that Jay Berg brought up a very good point. He says one of my alliance members has an Aphelion, and he was telling me that it's 8.4 million Sigma Trit per part. I'm trying to remember the tier, which is insane. Little Tim says that's the issue. The costs are skyrocketing and the rewards are shrinking. It needs to get to a point where the spenders are going to be tempted to spend the money elsewhere. But we need to be real careful with this because I think, like with the station efficiencies, which are still not enough because Sniper or I are both chasing this bloody gas uncommon thing forever. It's been a nightmare. So, and we're going to be battling it together, Sniper. I don't know who's going to get there first. I reckon it's you. I've only got one more building, which is the R&D, and I'm stuck on it forever. Panda Pirate says if players dual faction grind, they can get double the credits every day for the Aphelion. Panda has enough for a free-to-play Aphelion already. No, you didn't do it free-to-play. Did he? Oh, for God's sake. I mean, come on.
I have one
smell a
suggestion.
liar.
Yeah, exactly.
If Panda considers free to play, like, because swiping his credit card is a free motion, right?
It is. And George, yeah.
I have one suggestion about the mining.
Yeah, go on.
Is it possible they could add or change the wording, not just a Veil only, but G7 mining requirement? So you could do it in your server or in the Veil and still get the same task done.
Yeah, true. So I'll give you a very good answer to that. They want people to have conflicts in the Veil. That's what makes it interesting. They want people to fight.
But you can't put a token in the Veil unless you're adding another loop inside a Veil.
No, so
like the
George,
Dominion has a
yeah. So
the rules of token, that's what players made up.
Yeah.
Scopely wants us to create chaos.
Yeah.
They don't care about what is wrong. That's a player made thing.
Yeah,
not a Scopely thing.
And also Advark brings a very good point, and George, I'm going to answer you in a second, so just give me a chance. Advark says conflict sells packs. As they say, conflict sells packs, and people just sort of rage spend towards it. George, I will tell you, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised in a few days. Yet again, I've answered you with something quite good. So I think you should wait and see what that is. But I would suddenly tell people maybe the Aphelion needs to be looked at again to see whether it's a useful tool to add to your arsenal just to get to Warps 3000 onwards, which is 74, 75, 76. You know what I mean? Those are the key things. And Jay Berg says 8.4 million Sigma Trit on a tier 4 Aphelion, which is, oh my god, a tier 4. So I mean, so tier 5 is not obtainable, is it? Oh my god. 8.4 million.
I mean, you might get away with tier 4 and warp upgrade, but it's still about, for me, 42 million Sigma Tritanium. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
not. Yeah,
I do want to back Panda real quick.
Sure. Yeah.
If you do all the 12-hour events that also give Sigma credits, could free to play the Aphelion BPs by now.
Oh, nice. Okay. Wow. Panda is correct, ladies and gentlemen. We finally did it. Panda has said something that was backed buy information and is absolutely spot on. Panda Pirate, I congratulate you, sir. You finally said the wrong thing. Little Tim says, I disagree. There's always one, because there's a rebuttal. That's why there's two sides to every story. And that'll it. Vuel says the affiliate just needs to be dropped to 500 billion rep, not 9 trillion. Then we could all use the Sigma credit we are getting for any faction to get the BPs. Yes, that's absolutely correct. Panda, I gave you credit. Panda, don't give me your lawyer face. Who's a little panda royal face? I posted my screenshots in the voice player Discord. Oh, he has, which makes it achievable, which is good. So, Panda, thank you very much for doing that. It shows that it is possible. People just need to focus on it and get to that. It's absolutely interesting with that. Josh C2222, I do apologize that the chat is on 2 stages. This is why it's called a beta test. I'm trying my best to try and accommodate everything. I might just do it on one platform at a time, and we'll see how that goes. Little Tim says, I'm triple grinding and do not have enough, but my Klingon Fed is lagging a little bit behind. Jayberg says, warp range-wise, you cannot get to the 76 systems without having access to the 73 rare as well for your info with the Aphelion. Oh, God. Okay. So that's a way that you need to have a look at. You don't need to. Panda said it. Dual rep allows for secondary rep to source the Aphelion. I'm at 100 to 150 prints without impacting my primary rep. Very good, Halo. So loads of very good advice here. Yeah. Go on.
I'm single faction it, and again, I've not bought a single pack that gave me Sigma credits.
Okay.
And if I did all the 12-hour stuff that gave me Sigma credits,
yeah,
would be able to get my Aphelion free to play.
Yeah.
Which 12-hour stuff are you referring to?
The daily
events. There's usually one of the 2 12-hour events gives Sigma credit.
Well,
those,
can you say free to play again? I mean, I just love when you say free to play for yourself. I mean, my Max Vengeance with the summoning, I just go up there and
that Max Vengeance doesn't give me Sigma credit.
Yeah.
No, it's just funny to hear
Sigma
you say
credits is just doing your dailies, events, and your faction polls.
Yeah, true. And another critical piece of information just to get it in there. Jayberg says, sorry, he said it wrong. G7 rare materials, not 73 rare, my bad. Yeah, exactly. And Sandra has come up with a different limerick on Voice of the Player Discord. But as we're going on to Twitch, we're having a look. Dundesh has actually just don't do a reset. Don't do resets when streaming. Okay, I don't do that. Vuel, same. I can get 106 BPs now, plus the 4 for hitting 9 trillion rep, 2 per faction, plus the 20 from the Alliance Tournament store. Great. So let's hope and we pray that they put that Aphelion as a permanent addition to the Alliance Tournament store. When we saw it change to having a timer on it, I think that opens the door for it potentially to stay. So hopefully it just requires a few more CMs, CCs to sort of push for it and push for that and take it through. And let's move on to our little final subject, because this is going to be interesting, because I know Sniper and Quasel are going to have quite a fun little statistical battle on this one. The PFTs, the something I've just noticed, and Beachwell gave us an example yesterday. I'll let him explain if he wishes to say it again, because I don't want to say it in a public forum. But the PFT, the prototype Forbidden Text, the epic to max the epics, which everything's epic, by the way, which is just that they need to stop making everything epic. Like the Outpost one should be rare. That's what I think anyway. And then the epics are really difficult to max, because if it's right. And am I right in saying, Sniper, to max an epic, it was, what did we calculate it? $3,000? Something like that? To get...
Yes, that's correct.
And you don't get enough materials, do you, Sniper? So what's... The materials that we get seems to be very low. I mean, you managed to get your Excelsior to a good level. Why are we struggling with Prototype Forbidden Tech? And also, there's no cost efficiency on them either. So, what are your thoughts regarding...
And I think that's the...
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. Thank you, Nigel. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a large part of the issue is we don't yet have cost efficiencies for the Pro Tech like we do for the Forbidden Tech. Because I would say even the Forbidden Tech original costs were somewhat high, but I think these are definitely coming in, quite a bit higher. And I get we want to create room for there to be cost efficiencies later on,
Yeah.
but we're a bit into the time since we started introducing the concept of prototype tech, and I think
Yeah.
that we are kind of long overdue for some cost efficiencies to be added there or some additional sourcing. We do have some sourcing now, and it's gotten a little better, but what I was pretty surprised about this month is that
Yeah.
we had the Excelsior come out,
Yes.
and it only gives rare
Only.
protomatter. It does give epic tier up catalyst, but only rare protomatter.
Oh, that sounds like an
Yeah, that
error.
seems to be an error if you ask me.
Yeah. What tier is your Excelsior? If
Uh,
you don't mind me asking, Sniper.
So previously it was 11, now it's 12.
Okay.
Go- Going towards 13. 11 is kind of that level that is kind of G7 equivalent, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's where I was really surprised because they give the strong box, is supposed to then be, kind of for a G7 player, right? And you even have to start hitting 70. Actually, now that I'm tier 12, you have to start hitting 71 hostiles. So you're hitting the G7 hostiles, but even then you're still not getting the epic protomatter, and the epic protomatter actually accounts for close to 80% of the cost
Oh
of
wow.
maxing one of these protomatters. So they've only addressed the 20% issue with giving rare, but
Oh.
there's still the 80% issue.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be an error. Do you not agree, Quasar? Like I feel like that equivalent to just start giving not just the and also seems random to just give the epic tier up catalyst, but not the protomatter, right? Does that sound right to you, Quasar? That doesn't seem to be right. Have we lost? Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think Quasar might be stuck for a minute. But while he was thinking about that, yeah, I think the thing that is
Can you
odd
hear me
about it
now?
as
Oh,
well is
yeah.
that
Yeah.
you actually start needing the epic protomatter
Yeah.
long before you
Yeah.
start needing the epic tier up catalyst. So
Yeah.
I think
at a point as you're tiering up pro tech,
Yeah.
you start needing the epic protomatter, and it still uses a rare tier up catalyst. Then at only at the last few tiers does it start using the epic tier up catalyst. So the epic tier up catalysts actually don't do anything for you if you don't have the epic protomatter to start with.
Yeah, true.
So, like for me to
yeah.
go
Just
from
just let's give Beach Swell the floor, and then we'll go to Quasar. Yeah, Beached. Go ahead, buddy.
so I was just going to say, so for my Romulan mines to take it level 47, 48,
Yeah.
27,700 no matter. I get 1,588.
Yes.
Comes out to about one level a month.
One level a month, and that takes a bit of time. Raiders
And
puts
so
yeah.
I can only do one pro thing then. Can't do any of the other 5 or 6 pro keys I have.
Yeah.
Can't do a single thing with it.
Yeah, I agree. And before Quasar comes in, Raider72 in the Voice of the Player Discord has said that that we know the screenshot that's got an error on it, and that's something that we should have a look at and be looked at. So sorry, Josh C22222. I'll have a look at that double chat thing later, and I'll solve that problem. Quasar, what are your thoughts? It sounds like an error to me, right? Do you not think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's been talked about almost at the start of the arc. I thought that's kind of a non-issue because I think Jules mentioned it, or
Yeah.
it was somewhere discussed, and I thought that's already a known issue, and they working on it. Because having twice the same amount in the chest is a big indication that something is wrong there.
Yeah, no, it definitely sounds like there's something wrong, and I'm pretty sure that that's something they will look at and have a look. I do know that Jules did bring it up, by the way. I did see it with my own eyes. So hopefully
Okay.
they're aware of it, and that's something they can fix, because otherwise, we know a player that spent $2,000 and only got it to like level 40 on a prototype Forbidden Tech, and then they've been free to playing it, and they're still after that free to playing it is a very loose word, like just collecting whatever they get after that point, and they still are like a level 44 or 46. So it just shows that there is a massive bottleneck with PFTs, especially if they're going to bring out more PFTs, which they are doing pretty much every arc, aren't they? They're throwing either a new CT or a new PFT. So, it's not ridiculous to anticipate probably another one or probably another two. The Lum says they're still dripping it. Yeah, they're giving us definitely a drip on that, and that'll be something that they are focusing on doing. So hopefully they will learn from that one, look at that one, and focus on that one, and make it a very vital thing to source for the rest of the players, because with everything being epic as well, I think that is a major issue. Do you not agree, Sniper? I feel like every PFT is epic. Everything's epic.
100%. I mean, that's been one of the major problems also, in my opinion, is that they've been coming up with way too many things to be epic, right?
Yeah.
Every officer's epic, every PT is epic. If everything is epic, then nothing is epic, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I like thinking about it. And,
Yeah.
you can see that as an example by the Outposts prototech that just came out, because they
Yeah.
came out with a prototech that's for a niche of a niche, right?
Yes.
So we start off with it being only useful for outposts,
Yes.
right? And then even within that, it's only useful for individual type of outposts, like the Borg or the Cardassi. In my opinion, generally speaking, as a principle, epic of something like Prototech should be either widely applicable or extremely potent, right?
Yes.
Or preferably both of those things
Yeah,
together.
exactly.
And I don't think that those new ones meet that requirement.
Yeah, true. I mean, Killer Angel says... Yeah, exactly. But Killer Angel brings up a good point. He says big issue is too few outputs and too many people lowballing it, and then you don't really need those prototypes, and then it's gonna be in that one. Panda Byron says, can you ask Mr. Tiger and his counterparts? I don't know them, so that's nothing I can do. But he says, can we solve the epic officer problem with the legendary officers? No, Panda Pirate, that's a terrible idea. Jim PI, you can slap Panda Pirate. Legendary officers is not a thing. And then Lum said it just before Sniper did, but I think you both had the same mind. Nothing is epic as everything's epic. I think they need to have rare stuff. And there's nothing wrong with having like those Outpost ones rare. Like, they're so random and they're so niche that why would I need it to be anything but rare, because it's so specific to a thing. The epic ones are which give you bonuses that are huge. It also means that if I were you as a player, right, whoever's got an Excelsior, I would, those Veigar particles that the research used for the Excelsior, right? Those Veigar particles. If I were you, I would save every single one of them until Arcfall, and then that will hopefully help you make a decision that's quite interesting. Dundesh says $1,000 pack idea. Yeah, of course. A legendary captain, Walk Khan. Mr. Tony, sir. Legendary equals FC. Oh God, please don't do that. That would be insane. Why does TMP Sulu require independent credits? Because he decided to go against the grain and become a captain. Panda Pirate, are you not lore? You watching your Starfleet Academy or whatever it is, just and all that. Just Quazel, just mute a little bit when you do those stuff, because it's a little bit, your mic's quite noisy. But I think we got to a stage where Lum's even is making sense, where he says I might max something not super great if it was blue and half price. Okay, that's interesting and very, very, very weird. But he makes that the rare is actually quite something to do that. Spectre says he's slept poorly. Sorry, Spectre, I'm just about to finish up, but you can obviously rewatch it. I think the lensitized stuff. Sorry, Quazel, I'm just going to mute you for a second, buddy, because your mic is leaking for the moment, and I'll come back to you in a second. Which is actually NetNiv, actually, was the one. How dare you? NetNiv was the one that made the error. So, yeah, mute yourself, please, buddy. As we finish off, I think those are the critical things we need to look for. The things, I'm going to give you one final hint again. Walk Carroll, Section 31 Giorgio, Quasi are very, very important to keep an eye on, right? The other thing is, if you're USS Excelsior, I would currently keep pulling the chest, focus on holding everything that you get from that chest, and wait for it. And that is really important to sort of figure out. always look at upgrading all your Apex shred as much as possible. You'll need as much Apex shred as possible to throw in. So look at those artifacts, look at anything you're behind on, focus on those things and make sure it happens. If you have an issue with Outposts, if you have an issue with anything, we're available on the Voice of the Player Discord, !Discord in the chat if you wish to come and join us. Loads of people there to help, loads of great people that will give you advice and give you loads of things. And if you wish to hear about Panda's reviews, Panda's doing reviews on Starfleet Academy pilot. He's really excited about it coming to STFC with the Discovery Season 5. Panda's obviously joking and has had too much bamboo this morning. And yes, and then that is the focus of the stream. I think we came up with very good stuff, very good topics, and very good things to sort of look at. And with that, I will send you to the intro video and finish off with a song as a thank you for everybody. We managed to get to 2 streams. It was an interesting idea. I might change a few things around, but I appreciate everyone's patience as we're testing out weird and wonderful things in the game. So with that, I will send you to the video and say thank you again. Goodbye. Thanks, everybody. Now I can say goodbye to everyone. We'll be raiding out soon. Let's have a look.
Speed ahead, we're here to play, exploring galaxies every day. We are hosting the
We'll go to Dark Tree.
STFC Briefings, it's the ultimate gleam. Tune in for tips and tricks galore, news updates and so much more. Exciting guests and interviews too. STFC Briefings, just for
Here we go! We're gonna raid out, people! Thanks, everybody. I'll get better at this. The video will be available on Twitch and it will go on YouTube as well. As soon as the song ends, I'll push the button and we'll go to Dark Tree. Let's say hi over there.